Hello Planeswalkers, Andrew here bringing you a brand new Combo Corner. In today's video I wanted to go over a few creatures whose primary purpose is to cosplay various avatar characters and redirect damage. We've got infinite loops and damage chains in this video, so let's jump into exactly which creatures we'll be looking at. So first off, let's look at the worst of these creatures, Spite-Mare and Boros Reckoner. Spite-Mare is a 3/3 elemental for 2 Boros that says, whenever Spite-Mare is dealt damage, it deals that much damage to target creature or player. Boros Reckoner is a 3/3 Minotaur wizard for Boros that has the exact same effect while also packing the ability to give itself first strike for the turn for a single Boros. Obviously these creatures can't redirect much damage before they die, only possessing 3 toughness each. We could buff them with anthems or equipment, but doing so is unnecessary. They're good for single huge chunks of damage, but not great for much else. That said, we'll be revisiting them later in the video for a very specific combo, so stay tuned. Now, for the 2 best versions of damage redirection on creatures, Stuffy Doll and Brash Taunter. Stuffy Doll is an 0/1 construct for 5 that lets you choose a player when it enters. It's indestructible, and whenever it's dealt damage, it deals damage equal to the damage it took to chosen player. You can also tap Stuffy Doll to have it hit itself for 1. Brash Taunter is a 1/1 goblin for 4 and a red that came out in M21, which is quite recent at the time of recording. It was actually the Brash Taunter that prompted me to make this video, as it is arguably the pinnacle of this creature type. It is, of course, indestructible, and whenever it's dealt damage, it deals that much damage to target opponent. You can also pay 2 and a red and tap it to have it fight another target creature. To compare and contrast these 2 creatures, for 1, Stuffy Doll can hit itself by just tapping it, meaning it can hit an opponent all on its own. The downside being that this is just 1 damage, and it can only be done to the player you chose when it first entered. A way around this would be Conjurer's Closet, which would let you blink it and choose a different opponent at the end of one of your turns. It being able to hit itself turns out to be quite the boon, however, once other cards are involved. Guilty Conscience is an enchantment aura that, while it's generically good on any of the 4 creatures being discussed today, and goes infinite with the 2 indestructibles, is by far the easiest to go infinite with it and Stuffy Doll. With Guilty Conscience attached to Stuffy Doll, you need only tap it to hit itself for 1, making it hit an opponent for 1, which causes it to be hit by Guilty Conscience, and thus the loop will kill the selected opponent if nothing else intervenes. The downside to this is, again, the fact that you must choose the player when Stuffy Doll enters. This means as soon as you pull this combo off once, even if you blink Stuffy Doll, Guilty Conscience goes away and this combo becomes impossible to do a second time, barring any graveyard recursion. Now, for Brash Taunter. While Brash Taunter can't just be tapped to hit itself, it can hit any opponent right off the bat, starting off strong. Whether or not its activated ability is better or worse than Stuffy Doll's is really up for debate. Stuffy Doll requires no mana and no other creatures on the field, but only deals 1 damage to itself. The Taunter's ability requires 3 mana as well as another targetable creature for it to fight, with the upside of being able to choose the biggest brute on the field to take and subsequently redirect damage from. Just tap and swing the Taunter at Merit Lage. Go ahead, deal 20 damage to any opponent for 3 mana. Just do it! Anyways, I have a particular bias towards the Taunter. I think its activated ability is more versatile, and I think it's more appealing to look at. Obviously it can only be run in red decks, while the doll is colorless, but that's not a problem for one such as me, whose favorite color in Magic is red. Anyways, let's get into some other cards that pair well with our damage redirectors. All of these cards are in Boros, so you can run every single card in this combo corner in the same 2-color deck. First, Pariah is an enchantment aura that causes all damage dealt to you to be dealt to an enchanted creature instead. To save some breath, I'm going to make the blanket statement that all of these effects are worlds better on Stuffy Doll and Brash Taunter, for the reason that they're indestructible. I don't think I need to go into much detail about why this card is great with our redirectors. It means no one can attack you safely. They either need to deal with Pariah or the creature it's attached to, or switch targets until someone does. Next we have Shaman Encore. Encore? I'm going to go with Encore, which has some fascinating abilities. You can pay 1 and a white to make it so that the next source of your choice would deal damage to target creature this turn. That damage is dealt to Shaman Encore instead. You can also pay 0 to make the next 1 damage they take deal damage to target creature you control instead. Wow, that's a mouthful. This means you can redirect damage to the Shaman for 2 mana, then pay absolutely nothing to redirect it from the Shaman to another creature. This effect, plus its card art, really makes it seem like Prince Zuko in card form, besides the fact that it's not a red card. You can use this to send damage from one of your creatures at one of your redirectors instead, making it dangerous for your opponents to play damage effects against your creatures, as long as you have the mana up, that is. Volcano Helion can be a game ender for real. When it enters, it deals damage of your choice to you and target creature. The damage cannot be prevented. It also has Echo X, where X is your life total. So, come your following turn's upkeep, you have to pay mana equal to your life total or sack the Helion. Not a big deal. Basically, if you have an opponent whose life total is less than yours, you can drop the Helion, have it hit you and one of your redirectors for damage equal to that player's life, and redirect the damage at them so that they just lose right there. That would be the smart way to use it. The fun way to use it, however, is to have it hit you and a creature for damage that's enough to kill both you and your final opponent. If you intentionally end the game in a draw, it's a win in my eyes. These last 2 cards really are at their best when you have multiple redirectors out at once. Arc Bond has you choose target creature. Whenever that creature is dealt damage this turn, it deals that much damage to each other creature and each player. This means you can tap Stuffy Doll to have it hit itself and your other 3 redirectors, and every other creature and player. This kills any 1 toughness creatures instantly, and hits everyone for 1, while also letting you redirect 3 damage at other targets. Since it hits you as well as your opponents, it's best to take care when using it. Now for the final card, Blasphemous Act. This sorcery costs 1 less to cast for each creature on the field. If you have all 4 of your redirectors out when you cast this, then you essentially wipe the board of anything without Indestructible, which does include 2 of your redirectors, but not before they can direct 13 damage at some of your opponents. With all 4 of them out and Blasphemous Act, you have 4 instances of 13 damage that you can put on your opponents. At just about any point in the game, this can be absolutely devastating. If it's early on in the game, you can take out a full health opponent with 3 to 4 instances of damage, and if it's late in the game, you may be able to take out 2 to all 3 opponents with this combo. Aang may have chosen to spare Ozai when he caught his lightning, but we will not choose to spare our opponents. And with that, we come to the end of the combos I dug up for these cards. Are there any combos I missed with the damage redirectors? Is the word direct and its related words numb to you like they are to me? Is redirect even an accurate term in this case? Let us know in the comments. If you enjoyed this video, please leave a like, and think about tossing a sub our way. Thanks for watching, and have a great day.